Okay, we're up to the Mishnah on Sadik Tes on the base. We're up to the Mishnah on Sadik Tes on the base. Previously, we had seen the halacha where an almana had gone ahead and charged less, right? Or more. And we said that basically, if she would sell a field that's worth a mana and a dinar for a mana, that the mecha will be bottled. So by the almana, we cut her no slack whatsoever, right? What about if Bezdin blows it? Do we cut Bezdin more slack than the almana or not? So here's the Mishnah. Shum hadayonim. The yonim, they make an assessment on a field. Shepischu, I'm saying a field that Lavdab will see in a second in the Gemara. Shepischu shtus. They undervalue it by a sixth. Or yosifu shtus, or they overvalue it by a sixth. Mechram bottle. Then we say it's bottled. Meaning, if it's koldahu, we'd say the mech is kayim. So as opposed to the almana, that's any amount, we go ahead and void the sale. Over here, we cut them slack a sixth in both directions. If we undercut it a sixth or overprice it a sixth, right? Up until a sixth, the mech will be kayim. More than that, it'll be bottled. Rishim only line that no mechram kayim. Even a sixth would be mechram kayim because dim kayim makoyach bezdin yafer. Because if you don't say that, then using the svara, what good, bezdin, we have to give them some power, and the power would be that if they blow it by a sixth, nonetheless the mech will be kayim. So he argues in the Tanakama. Avalim asu igeris b'kayres. They make an igeris b'kayres, literally a letter of visitation. This is speaking about, if you look at Rashi, hachraza. This is a document of being machriz the field. They're publicizing the sale of the field. They come to mivaka the field. Then the adam ayidei achraza. So, however, if there's when the Tanakama says that the mechra is bottle, that's only if there's no achraza pashtas. But if there's achraza, afilu machru shavim manim masayim, even if double, they sell 100 for 2, or shavim masayim b'mana or less, mechran kayim. So this din of a shtus is only pashtas when there's no achraza, or maybe not a field, as we'll see in the Gemara. But when there is a achraza, the field is what is mekuyim, the deal is on. Now, we saw two diverse pshatim. The almana afilu koldahu is bottle. This shtus is bottle, right? Bezdin. A shliach. How do we view a shliach? Hiboilu. Shliach kiman. What's a shliach like? Rav Amar Rav Nachman shliach kidayonim, and therefore he can make up to a sixth. Rav Shmuel Bar Bisna Amar Rav Nachman ki almana, even a koldahu. Rabbi Amar Rav Nachman shliach kidayonim madayonim lav ledidhu. It's not for them. The shum is not for their gain. Av shliach nami loyli the day. It's not for his gain. Lafuki almana till they do. It's for her gain. Rav Shmuel Bisna no. In this kalmana, ma almana yichida, just like almana is af shliach almana, that he makes a mistake of koldahu, then what? Then it would be bottle. Now, what kind of shliach are we speaking about? Yesterday, Rav Nachman was asked the question: what happens if the shliach makes a mistake? And he said, "You could taina, I sent you for the purpose of correcting me. I did not send you for the purpose of messing me up." So it's mashma that we know what the Allah is a shliach. Yesterday, you asked what a shliach. We know what a shliach is. The guy can taina tikute shalachti. I sent you for my good, not for my detriment. So what kind of shliach are we speaking about? So Rashi says we're speaking about a shliach stam. So it's a question of Rashi. Let's see the top toisus to the left. Top toisus. Rama Rav Nachman shliach kitayonim. Masha pirish b'kuntra shliach stam. Mashma dafilu shliach the alma, a regular shliach, not a shliach of bezdin, a regular shliach. Now what the halacha will be is like tayonim or like a almana, depending on who. V'kashu avenu tam. The le'elam Rav Nachman, we just saw aval tosh shliach loy damalei litkunish of risicha. Right, I sent you that right. V'od hikshu. So here's another kasha. So Rabbi Tam has a problem with this. Rabbi Tam says, therefore, we're speaking about a shliach of a bezdin. We're speaking about shliach of a bezdin. Good. That's one pshat. Toysus seems to agree with Rashi. He says it could be speaking where the shliach, with the shliach, it's speaking regular shliach, and when it said before of Nachman that I sent you to correct me and not to mess me up, it's speaking where it's more than a sixth. Over here, it's speaking less than a sixth. Again, so you have two pshatim, whether it's the shliach of bezdin or shliach of Rashi, and before more. Okay, now we want. Okay, we're Kuf Amid Aleph. We started already the Gemara. So
Going in and out.
We want to know Abatel.
You're going in and out. You're going in and out.
Yeah, I same thing. Yeah, you're in.
Okay, so you're telling me that a shliach is like an almana, that the sale or but shlichus has to be exact. You're not cutting any slack whatsoever, right? It's just like the almana. We said if she sells a field for a mana and a dinar, which is 1/100th, that's 1/100th more. It's off. It's called the who, and not like dayanim, which we cut the tanakama, we cut them up to a 1/6, right? So you're saying that a shliach has to be exact like what? Like an almana. That's what the halacha is. I'll ask you a question on that. So umayshna, we're about 8 lines down. Umayshna mehadit nan. Someone says to a shliach, say v'torim, go ahead and separate truma. Torim kedas balabayis. Torim kedas balabayis. We mentioned yesterday. Generally, Shmuel, you can go ahead and take even a kernel. Will go ahead and do the job of being mafish truma. However, the Chachamim gave a share of other Beinani is 1/50th, a person who is more benevolent 1/40th, and a person who is a little frugal 1/60th. Good. So now, a person is told by a balabas to go ahead and separate truma. He's not told exactly what to separate, and so time kedal balabayas. He whatever the balabayas has done in the past, if he's familiar with it, that's what he would take off. So what happens if he's not familiar with the das of the balabayas? Then torim bebeinanis, he'll go ahead and he'll take off 1/50th. Piches asara, if he takes off what 1/40th, or yasifa asara 1/60th. Truma say truma. So over there you see we do kind of slack in both directions. We don't say what it has to be exact. It says, and for the Gemara Hasam, even the torim the ayin ra 1/60th. The term ayin yafa 1/40th. Amalei lahachi amticha. This is what I evaluated at. Aval hacha tuusahu. It's a mistake. Amalei leiboylachol limiti. They tell you shouldn't have made a mistake. What's the kasha? By sales, you have to be exact. Like the shliach is like the almana. By truma, you don't have to be exact. The answer is by truma, it's not a mistake. As long as you're taking off within the realm of normalcy, which is 40th to 60th, including a 50th, that's all part of the possibility of shlichus, because that's what people do. Masha'enkein, if you're undercharging, right, or overcharging, that's not exact. That's not exact. And therefore, what? That's a toys, that's a mistake. And that's the difference between truma and regular shlichus. I'm Rav Huna bar Chinna, Amar Rav Nachman, Allah kedibri chachamim. The Allah is like the words of the chachamim, that the mecher is batal. Like we said in the Mishnah, we had a machlokes between Rav Shimon Gamliel and the chachamim by a 1/6, by a 1/6 or more than a 1/6. The Tanakama says the mekach is batal. Rav Shimon Gamliel says makoyach bezdin yafa. So Rav Huna bar Chanina is pasking like the chachamim. That what? That is 1/6. That if they blow by a 1/6 in either direction, the mecher will be batal. Read the Gemara, but less later of Nachman makoyach bezdin yafa. You're telling me he doesn't agree with the svara of Shimon Gamliel that we saw in the Mishnah and Cain makoyach bezdin yafa to allow even the mistake of a 1/6. So what do you mean he doesn't hold to that? Aiva Omer of Nachman, Omer Shmuel. Yisoymim sheboy lachluch b'nichsei aviyim. You have Yisoymim ketanim coming to divide up the father's field, and obviously they're not able to take care of themselves or to towing on themselves or claim anything. So Bezdin Mamidon Lem Apotropis. Bezdin would go ahead and appoint for each separate yasam his own power of attorney, a person who can take care of him. Ubaril hem chelik yafa, and that apotropis will go ahead and in the estate choose for this child a proper chelik. Higdilu, if they once the Yisayim grow up, yichaylam limchais, they're able to go ahead and say, you know what, I don't like this chalukah, I don't like this place you give me. You can go ahead and make a macha, and they would have to redivide. Rav Nachman Didei, that was Rav Nachman said in the name of Shmuel. Nachman himself says, when they get older, they're not able to. Then Cain, because if they're able to go ahead and redivide, what was the Koyach Bezdin who appointed this apotropis and they made this division in the first place? So what do you see from here? Rav Nachman holds of the din of Makoyach Bezdin Yafta. The Gemara Kasha. In our Mishnah, Rav Shimon Gamliel says that if Bezdin blows it by more than a 1/6, or less than a sixth, the sale is on, using the svara of Makoyach Bezin Yafa. Rav Nachman disagrees with that and passes like the Chachamim. Yet over here, Rav Nachman agrees with the svara of Makoyach Bezin Yafa. So why didn't he agree with it in our Mishnah, the Paskan like Rav Shimon Gamliel? Why didn't he agree with it in our Mishnah, the Paskan like Rav Shimon Gamliel? Says the Gemara, like Kasha, it's not a problem. How to tell you? When don't we say Makoyach Bezin Yafa when they made a mistake, right? How to tell you? How do I tell you if they didn't make a mistake? In other words, when they make a mistake, we don't say Makoyach Bezin Yafa, and therefore in our Mishnah, when they made a mistake, we don't say it. By the apotropis, we did say it. By the apotropis, they didn't make a mistake. Right? The Gemara, right? So in other words, if they didn't make a mistake, so what possible claim can the Yosim say when he gets older that you would go ahead and say that you have to come out to my Koyach Bezin Yafa? In other words, if there's a mistake made, then the Yosim has a taina, and then we can say the svara of my Koyach Bezin Yafa or not say it. But if you're telling me there was no mistake made, there Rav Nachman applies the halacha of my Koyach Bezin Yafa. What claim can the Yosim possibly be making that you have to come on to that svara? And the Gemara Beruchos is speaking about Beruchos. They didn't make a mistake in terms of the worthiness of the field. They made a mistake in who. Let's say there was one Yosim who had an adjacent field, like a kind of a dinner bar mitzvah. I know it's you have two fields that are close to each other. It's much easier to take care of them than two fields that are distance away. So if they didn't make a mistake in price, they just made a mistake in location, then we will go ahead and we'll say Makoyach Bezin Yafa. We'll keep that division using the svara of Makoyach Bezin Yafa. Kiyasar Avdimi, when he came up from Eretz Yisrael, Alma Maisa va'asa Rebbe K'divrei Chachamim. He reported that that Rebbe did like the Divrei Chachamim, that a field that was the Bezdin blew it by a sixth, that the halacha is that mecher batal. I'm the fun of Parta Benoishel Reb Elazar ben Parta ben Benoishel Parta Hagadol. You'll contest yourselves and came Makoyach Bezin Yafa. So they told Rebbe, if you're going to tell me that the mecher is batal, what's the Koyach Bezdin? The Hichser Rebbe Esamaisa, right? And Rebbe, the Hichser Rebbe Esamaisa, and right. And Rebbe, he reverted and he said, "You're right," and he said that the mecher is kayim. Rav Dimi, that was the way Ravin reported. That was Rav Dimi. Rav Dimi Masni Hachi. Rav Dimi Masni that in fact the action took place, and then Rebbe changed his mind after the division, after Bezdin blew the Besak. Rav Safra Masni Hachi. Maisa ubikesh. Keyword there being ubikesh. Maisa ubikesh Rebbe lasos k'divrei chachamim. Rebbe did not do like the words of the Chachamim to say mecher batal. He wanted to do like the Chachamim. Amal fun of Parta Benoishel Elazar ben Parta ben Benoishel Parta Agadol and came Makoyach Bezin Yafa. If you're telling me that you're going to say that the mecher is batal because they blew it by a sixth, l'chayra, what's the Koyach Bezdin? So lo yasser Rebbe yasamaisa. Rebbe did not do that. So in other words, what's the machloikas between Rav Dimi and Rav Safra? Machloikas is whether the act that what took place. Or it didn't take place. Like Rav Dimi, it took place and Rebbe reverted the psak. Like Rav Safra, it never took place in the first place. Good? That's the difference. But the bottom line is, Rebbe is agreeing with Rav Shimon Gamliel that what, and came Makoyach Bezin Yafa, and we're not going to say if they blow it by a sixth that the mekach is batal. Lema, let us say, what's the svara samachloikus, whether the action took place or not, between Rav Dimi and Rav Safra? Masavra, Rav Dimi is of the opinion, Torah b'dvan Mishnah chayzer. Now, there's two possibilities. If Bezdin blows a psak in the Devar Mishnah, something that is learned openly, you can possibly say that what? That the deal is off totally. Or no, the deal is on, and Bezdin has to go ahead and make up the difference. By Shikl Hadas, where it's not, where is a svara? We say the din is a din, and Bezdin has to pay the guy because they blew it in Shikl Hadas. But when it's toyib by Mishnah, something that's open, that's a Mishnah, then we can say it's nishkaim psak, and then it's batal. So pashtus would be like this: Rav Dimi, who says the Maisa took place, right? Rav Dimi who says the Maisa took place, right? He would hold toyib by Mishnah, like our Mishnah. He made a mistake in a Mishnah. Chayzer, deal is off. Rav Safra would hold toyib by Mishnah, the deal is on. Therefore, he had to learn it speaking before Bezdin gave the psak, because he would hold, even if they gave the psak already, they'd have to make up the difference. So therefore, that's where Rav Safra learned it speaking before Rebbe gave the psak. So Masava, Rav Dimi is of the opinion Tabed my Mishnah Chayzer. Masava and Rav Safra is of the opinion Eina Chayzer. And Rav Safra is of the opinion that what? That it's not Chayzer. Rav Safra's opinion that it's not Chayzer. 1 second. I'm saying share.
Hi, Daddy.
I'm saying share now, okay? So get back to me in about 15
Okay.
minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Okay. The Bechor gets Pishnayim, even gets to disturb the share. Okay, guys, listen, guys, one more time. Outside. Rav Dimi said the Maisa took place. Rav Safra said the Maisa didn't take place. Rav Dimi, the Gemara's Havamina. Rav Dimi said the Maisa took place. Why? Because he held Torah van Mishnah, Chayzer, Nekach Spatel. Rav Safra said Torah van Mishnah, Maisa Kayim, and then Bezdin would have to make up the money. So we're saying that Rebbe's Chayzer, it can't be speaking where they had the Psak already. It must be speaking before the Psak. That's the svara, the difference between the two. Okay, that's what you want to say. And the Gemara suggests not like that. Like the Kulyam Tarbid on Mishnah Chayzer. Even Rav Safra will be Moider. If you make a mistake, if Bezdin blows it in a Mishnah, it'll be Chayzer. Umasa v'hachi havi Maisa. Umasa v'hachi havi Maisa. You know what happened? It was just a Malchus and Mitzias. When did it happen or didn't happen? No, it's no lumdus behind there. Rav Dimi said the psak went through. Rav Safra said no, they stopped it before him. But they nokinami. Even like Rav Safra, if it would have went through, Bezdin would have been chayzer. So again, there's no svara of the machlokes. They're just reporting exactly what the ma'isa was. That's the difference between the two. Rabbi Yosef says Rabbi Yosef. Amalta an almana, the zvina who sells a field. And the field had a lien on it. Achrayas yasme. The achrayas is on the assignment. The assignment had have to go ahead. Says Rashi. Achrayas yasme. Im nimtzas asad the gazula. If you find that the field was never hers, or was meshubed to another, v'tarfam in a look keach, and he grabs it away from the person, the purchaser. Why? Why? If she's selling this field, she's selling. It's owned by the assignment. She's just selling it on her behalf. She's selling it on her behalf, right? So therefore, it's not Christ of the assignment. Bezdin, there's a Bezdin that sells a field. Let's say Bezdin selling the field of the assignment for the muslin of a woman or banais. So Achrayas Yasme, the Achrayas is on the assignment, not on Bezdin. Pshita says, I'm going to lay it strichale. So Ki Yitzrichle, Pshita, Almana Lo Yitzrichle, to tell me that the Almana, the Achrayas is on the assignment, there's no Chiddush there. Ki Yitzrichle, when we need it, Beidino. The Chiddush that Bezdin is also on the assignment. Ma'u Detema Amid Beis. I might have thought, Kol Dezavim and Meidina, anyone who purchases from Bezdin, Adaita Lamefikle Kolo, who Dezavim Lai, it's a das that a kol went out, and therefore it should be like what? It's sold B'ler Achrayas, Kamash Malon. Says Rashi. Kol dezavin ve'dina daita denafle kol dezavin. Vishehein moichrin b'hachrasa. Bezdin would sell it with publication, with publicity. Ubetuach alokeach she'ilu hoyo lo asikin, and the one who buys it would assume that had there been any oirim, any people who had a claim on this field, hoyo they would come out ma'arin, and they would say, 1 second, you can't sell that. We own it. We have a lien on it. Hilkach shaloi b'achrayas hu lokeach. That it's like Siddur Shlei B'Achrayas and you can't take it away from him, Kimash Malon. It's a very nice svara. If Bezdin sells the field, you're going to get maximum publicity. If anyone has a lien on the field, he's going to show up in Bezdin and say, "Once you can't sell that. I own it. It's mortgaged to me." Ella, when you don't say that, you might think that, okay, it must be that this field is free and clear. It's a ben chorin, and there's no concern that anyone's going to take it away from you. And therefore, I would say that that it doesn't have a din of achrayas. Kamash Malon, the chiddush is that there's a din of achrayas in this field, despite the fact of achraza, and that achrayas is on the assignment. That's the chiddush. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Loimer, we said that if the sixth, if you blow by a sixth, not koyach bezdin yaf, but the deal is still on. We don't say mechrabot. Viad kama. In other words, at a sixth, does that mean that mean it's always kayim? To the extent that bezdin blows it, fellas, is it Does it have no end in sight? Well, no, it's only up to a sixth. That comma Amrav Huna Bar Yehuda Amrav Sheshes ad Palga, up to a half. Up to a half. In other words, up to a half we'll say Makoyach Bezdin Yafa. More than a half, we won't say that. Tanyanam Yehachi, we have a brisa that substantiates the words of Rav Huna the Amayra. Amrav Shimon Gamliel, Bezdin Shemachru Shava Masayim B'mana. Bezdin that sells a field that's worth 200 B'mana for 100. By Shava Mana B'Masayim, or firstly 100, 200. Mechron Kayim. Then the Mecher is Kayim. Good. Then Mecher is Kayim. Amar Amei Mishmei Rabbi Yosef. Bezdin Shemachru B'Lo Yachraza. Bezdin that sells a field without publicizing the sale. Nasu Kamisha Toibet Var Mishnah B'Chayzrin. We will view it as if they made a mistake in the Var Mishnah and the deal is off. Read the Gemara. Nasu, right? Not we will view it as Havadai Toibet Var Mishnah. Nasu's mashma. We will view it as. No, it's not Nasu. We will view it as. They were Toibet Var Mishnah. Vadai Toya. Nan Shema Yisoimim Shleishim Yoim. Yisoimim. To sell the field of Yisraelim is 30 days. The Shuma Hegdish, to sell Hegdish, Shishim Yom, 60 days. Maximize the amount for Hegdish. Umachrizim Baboiko Be'erev, in the morning and the evening. Remember, the people go to work and come back from work. So the Chayra, it's tired of my Mishnah. If they're selling, you're selling fields of Yisraelim, Bezin selling fields of Yisraelim, that's Makras 30 days. You're telling me if they don't do it, Nasu will view it as? It's not Nasu. They did blow it. If the Mishnah in Erchin, Avamina, Hani Mili, Shliach. That's a shliach. Aval Bezdin, however, Bezdin, I would say Bezdin does not need achraza k'mash malon. I would say that field is speaking about that you need achraza. That's speaking about the shliach, but not Bezdin itself. If Bezdin itself is selling, I'd say they don't need achraza k'mash malon. Bezdin needs achraza. Nasu will view it as. Esevei Rav Ashila Meimar Shema Dayanim Shepichsu Shtus Amishna Oy Hoysu Shtus Mechron Batel. Hashava b'shava mechor kayim, but right, my lav the loy achros isn't that right? Isn't that speaking where loy achros and nonetheless what mechor kayim? So you don't view it as tarbid van Mishnah. Loy kida achros. We did have achroza. Says Gemara Hamid the sefer b'the achros when the sefer of the Mishnah speaks about achroza a reisha but loy achros it must be the reishas but achroza the tani sefer it must be geris b'koiris. The Mishnah said if they made a letter of visitation, meaning that people can go visit and check out the field. So l'chayra, when that is speaking about what achraza, it must be the reisha speaking about lo achraza, right? Must be speaking that it must be speaking without achraza, right? Taka, it's speaking without achraza. So not achraza, why do you say that mechra kayim like kasha? When is Mecher Batel, it's something you should be calling out. When it's Mecher Kayim, it's something you don't have to call out. These are things you don't have to call out. Aleihem, Avodim, if you're selling slaves, the Tatlin is selling the Tatlin. Vashtaros, if you're selling a bill, a star that will allow you to collect money from somebody else. What's the reason you're not machros these things? Avodim Taimamai, Shema Yishmu B'Yibrachu. Maybe the Eved's going to hear. And he's going to run away. He's going to go, oh, this guy's selling me. I don't want to go. And he's going to become he's going to end up in Texas. He's going to end up in Martha's Vineyard, right? Metaltalin, right? Metaltalin, Vishtara, Shema Yignavu. You can put them out for, you can put them up for sale, and it's, you never was going to show up and take them away. So when it says that when it says that the ratio of a Mishnah is speaking where that Mechras Kayim is speaking where it's without Achraza. But in Achinami, and things that need Achraza, Mechra will be Batal. Everybody saying, sometimes it depends. It can be the time you do Achraza, the time you don't do Achraza. The Karga, for the head tax, which has to be paid right away. For Mizainis, that people are starving, the Alman is starving. Ulkfura to bury her. You're going to go ahead, right? You don't have time to wait. So that you'll sell with achroza, and therefore mechor kayim. Sometimes, so you have people, places, and things, right? The things would be avodim shtoros and metaltalin. Places and those are things. People are speaking about karga mezon l'kfura, and now we're speaking about places. Right? They never made a negeris of of Hachraza in Nardoi. Safami name Mishum the Baki Bishuma. They felt, the reason they did it is it wasn't necessary because they were Bakiyim. I'll tell you why they never did it. They call them the people who are eating the nechasim of those who require achraza. Sometimes you can get a good deal, and sometimes that good deal comes at the expense of another person. If this person is selling their house because they need the money so badly, right? They're really, really down on their luck. So you may get a good deal out of it. But sometimes people might look upon you in a very derogatory way. Here you have the achraza, you're calling out things to maximize the sale. People, in our day, their sensitivity to others was such, they would rather not call it out, have the sale, rather than people speak about them detrimentally. So therefore, our Mishnah could be the first case to speak about a place where they didn't go ahead, they were machris, and therefore mechrakayim. And the second place to speak about was achraza. Okay, it says the Gemara. Mechra bottle, I guess. Mechra bottle. Says the Gemara. One more time. So we did that. Okay, now. The metalton of Yisayim, you evaluate them. Immediately, you sell them immediately. You don't want them rotting. You wait. So one says you sell them immediately. The other one says you wait to the shuk where you maximize amounts of people purchases. Depends how far away the fair is. If it's a distance away, you're going to sell immediately. If it's close by, you'll wait. So, for example, two cases of Kahana have a biyode shichra derav, Marshisha bar Chilkia Yasma. Rav Kahana had in his possession the beer of Mishashia, the son of Chilkia. He was a yasam. So Shia Adrigla, Rav Kahana kept it around to the regel, where there'd be a lot of people, and Afagav the Nuffel, it's stuck. Even though the beer began to turn a little bit, nonetheless, Maisis was a karifa, it'll bring a sharp sauce. In other words, B'shasa Regel, with a lot of people will even buy a little beer that's a little not so great. So he kept it around longer, even though it could have been sold earlier at a better taste. He kept it around later for a better price. Ravina have a biyode chamra de Ravina zuti yasme barachte. Ravina had in the hands wine of Ravina's small Ravina, the Yasam, the son of his sister. His nephew. He also had wine. And Ravino, he was going ahead and he was transporting his wine to a place called Sikra. And he wanted to know, could he go ahead and take the Yasams with him? He wanted to know, could he go ahead and take the Yasams with him? So Asla came to Ravashi, came in front of Ravashi. Can we go ahead and take the Yasams with us? Should we be concerned that perhaps the ship will sink and it'll take a loss? I'm going anyway. Amalei said, "Dal still go. He's not better any different than you. You can go ahead and include him in the sale and schlep it along." Okay, Bez Hashem, there'll be a shir later today. I don't know about time because we want to get in the second daf because we're going to be behind on Monday. So Bez Hashem, it's going to be. I'm going to stop appearing as soon as possible. I'll post it. Whoever can make it, make it. If not, not. I'd like to wish